Scarlett O'Hara, Whitley Gilbert, and Lottie from Princess and the Frog. What do all three of these women have in common? Besides their passion for style and a sharp tongue, they're all Southern belles. Ah, yes, the southern parts of the United States. Barbecue spots, jazz, blues, and rap music, church bells ringing through the air. It's kind of hard to believe that not even 2 centuries ago, there was a different sound sending shockwaves below the Mason-Dixon line. The Civil War, one of the deadliest times for the country. While Confederate soldiers were fighting for their beliefs, usually you would find their wives and daughters fulfilling the stereotype of what it means to be a Southern belle. Well, aside from the hundreds of women who dressed as men to fight in the Confederate Army, the Southern belle trope has stood the test of time. Now the romanticized role lives within women being born in the 21st century. But what does it mean? Can the role of the Southern belle exist in modern times? Does it even have a place? And does it define what beauty is in the South? I found myself asking these questions when I was called a Southern belle my freshman year of college. It blew me away. I can't lie. I was surprised. Because from what I knew at the time, I could never be a Southern belle for various reasons. Yes, I am from the South, but I'm not white, and I don't come from an upper economic background. But then I was like, why can't I be? Or why can't my friends be one? So I asked around, what does a Southern belle look like? And if it even has a place in modern society?
Understanding like what the role of the Southern belle would look like in the 21st century, I don't think it's like a specific face anymore. I think because of how many identities that can like take up that space, especially like when it comes to like intersectional feminism, when it comes to different, ethnicities and different cultures and backgrounds, it creates like this sort of better sense of community.
I think modern women, get a bad rap for being masculine or being super independent. And I think the Southern belle has a place for the women that really just want to, get back to being really feminine, really hospitable, really warm.
I definitely believe the Southern belle has a place in the 21st century because I consider myself a Southern belle. I definitely, when I explain my definition of modern, and that's what I mean as modern with time, because I definitely wouldn't consider myself a Southern belle, let's say, all to the characteristics of that of a woman of the 1800s, because they look different from me and they agree with certain things, and their values or what things they might be submissive to is different from how times are now.
According to Christiane Furnham in her book, The Education of the Southern Belle, fascination was the essence of the Southern belle. She was thought to be pretty, not sexy, for that would have been incompatible with the image of her pure, unspoiled, innocent nature. All young Southern white women above the lowest classes were considered to be belles. Because they could not all be beautiful, friends and relatives insisted that feminine accomplishments, ladylike behavior, and high moral character would do just that. Throughout her book, and most projects that dissect the label, beauty was always at the center of who a Southern belle was. How a woman looked was the most important. Well, that and her financial situation. Usually middle to high class women were considered to be Southern belles. When Furnham refers to above the lowest classes, she's talking about the women whose fathers and husbands amassed their wealth through slave owning, planting, ministry, and similar professions. In 2015, the Dogwood Ball in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is a debutante ball, reportedly had only 3 requirements. Participants must be sophomores in college, unmarried, and white. Although one of the sponsors later denied the claim, what message does that send to the public? Could a woman only be beautiful if she was white, young, and off limits for the time being? Susan O'Donovan is an associate professor at the University of Memphis, and she says the emulation of one wanting to identify as a Southern belle comes from many not being aware of what the Southern belle actually means.
What made her a Southern belle? Well, first it was a lot of wealth. Well, where do you get your wealth as a Southern belle? The wealthiest people in the antebellum South made their money one way or the other from cotton and slaves.
So, when I go back to that question on if the Southern belle has a place in the 21st century, I think of it all differently. Southern belles don't have a face anymore. They don't look like upholding traditions that exclude other women. It doesn't look like supporting systems that continue to damage the lives of others. A modern Southern Belle values who she is above all else. Whether she is a woman of hard work, a woman of education, a woman of nurture, she is one that cannot be defined with such simple terms. So as we acknowledge the characters that have defined the term for us in the past, let's continue to do the work to find out what we think a Southern Belle woman is, not just as far as looks and systems that damage other people. And that's only if we choose to do so. Do you think that the Southern Belle has a place in the 21st century?
In a museum. I think that's the only place we could put the Southern Belle.